Elections, as we all know, are very difficult in any country in the world. But I've been in Nigeria for over 10 years now. And I want to say there is no other country that elections are difficult to hold or to conduct than in Nigeria. And you all know the various reasons. So it's imperative that if you are entering that field, you are well prepared.
The country director, IFES, speaking at the ongoing retreat organized by INEC for resident electoral commissioners. The event is being held in Ikeja, Lagos. The INEC chairman also spoke at the event, but we'll come back to that in a moment. The powers that be intentionally made the electoral process very difficult in Nigeria. All the logistics, everything is an intentional process they created in order to be able to manipulate the process to their favor. Otherwise, how do you explain a country where they say they have 93 million registered voters? At the end of the day, it was only about 25 million that voted in the past presidential election. Compare that to India, where you have more than 500 to 700 million voters. They conduct elections without problems. Everyone votes. Is it the US, where you have more than 150 million people voting in the presidential election? So there's no reason for the overcomplicated process except to rig the election to the favor of powers that be. The excuse they always give for not transmitting election results live like it is done in other countries, even in African countries like they did in South Africa a few weeks ago, is always hacking, that it is prone to hacking. Therefore, they will not use that process. But this same process works everywhere. Why will Nigeria be different? Also, why are these people using cell phones? Because cell phones are also prone to hacking. So it was a process that was intentionally created to make sure that the will of the people at the polling unit never becomes reality. It never turns out to become the real votes when they count it at the end of the day. Look at what happened in the French parliamentary elections. They had a record turnout, never seen for more than 40 years. At the end of the day, that turnout was shown in the results. It reflected. Compare that to what happened in Nigeria last year. People turned out en masse to register to vote. At the end of the day, many couldn't be registered, they couldn't vote. The ones that succeeded in registering to vote were massively disenfranchised. That's why INEC announced 93 million registered voters eligible to vote in that election. At the end of the day, they could only collate results totaling about 25 or thereabout million votes. The powers that be like to waste resources. They don't care. After all, the money they are wasting is supposed to be used to develop the country. They like to keep the country underdeveloped. That's how they thrive. Because if the country is developed, the people are educated, there's no way these kind of characters will find themselves in power. So imagine the massive savings for Nigeria if elections are conducted the way it's supposed to be conducted, the way it is conducted in even African countries. They only need workers at the polling units because elections are local. At the end of voting, they will just punch in the figures and the system will automatically collate the entire results. Yes, they will only have people at the National Collation Center in Abuja where they will mount a giant screen that all party members will be looking at and seeing the results live. Even people can be watching at home because television stations will tune in and be showing everyone what is happening. Nothing like underhand tactics, rigging election, carrying ballot boxes. There wouldn't be any need to go to any local government collation center or go to a state collation center. All these will not be needed at all. There will be nothing like policemen escorting result sheets from one point to the other. Imagine all the massive cost savings, but no, they rather waste all the money and at the end of the day, they will announce false and fake results. They are not even ashamed of themselves. Imagine going to South Africa to witness where elections were conducted perfectly the way it's supposed to be conducted. Imagine going there and standing and, shouting democracy, but in your own home, you cannot even conduct the simplest elections. Look at what happened in Kogi that was conducted after the presidential election. INEC officials that came to conduct elections came with already filled result sheets. Can you imagine that? Now to what Mahmood Yakubu, the INEC chairman, said in the retreat. He revealed that INEC have made a lot of changes to the electoral system, about 142 changes they've made, that the report will be revealed when it is ready. Some involve what police and political parties will do, while others will be legal amendments by the National Assembly. Well, the law is not the problem. This is coming from someone, a man that couldn't keep to his promises. All the promises he made before the presidential election of 2023, he ended up reneging on all the promises. He never followed any one of them. In fact, at the end of the day, he came to court and argued differently. He denied ever saying some of the things he said before the presidential election. All the INEC laws, all the laws they made in the electoral law that should have guided the conduct of the presidential election of 2023, if they had followed it to the letter, the election would have been perfect, at least acceptable. Instead, he did the bidding of politicians. Now he's patronizing Nigerians talking about new amendments. What sort of amendment will work when they are lawless? If you don't obey the laws, even the ones that are here now, or the ones they had last year, they couldn't obey those ones. How are they going to obey the new ones they want to implement? These people are just taking Nigerians for a ride. They think Nigerians are not smart. All the laws and the money that was available for the election of last year wasn't available for the election of 1993. We are talking about 31 years ago. That election was still perfect compared to the selection they made in 2023. So they should stop patronizing Nigerians. Even all these people they are appointing today and calling them resident electoral commissioners, majority of them are affiliated to political parties. The one that did the magic in Adamawa, first of all, it wasn't his job to announce results, and he announced the results when election hasn't been completed. Where is he today? No one has brought him to trial. He just disappeared. So they know what they're doing. If they truly want reforms, the INEC chairman shouldn't be appointed by the executive branch or the political class. It's absurd. How can a player in a team go into a game be the one that will appoint the umpire for the game? It does not make any sense. If the independent in the name of INEC must make a meaning, then political parties must be the ones that will appoint all the executives of INEC, including the chairman. Yes, that's the only way to guarantee independence. It's not as if they don't know all this. If they ever implement them, that will be their end. They will never be able to win an election again in Nigeria. Nigerians are smart people. They can recognize an incompetent politician when they see one. So instead of Yakubu trying to patronize Nigerians or start giving us fake promises again, let him start by resigning. Let him start with himself if he truly believes that reforms are needed in INEC. Let him start by accepting and apologizing that what he conducted last year was a selection process, not an election process. From there, we can now start redeeming INEC again. And the greatest reform that should be done to INEC going forward is the removal of the power to declare someone a winner in any election. No INEC official should possess this power. This power makes them active coup plotters against the people in favor of politicians. They should lose this power going forward. Let a judge affirm the results. When the results are published on a giant TV, everyone, all the parties, even on television stations have seen the results. We already know who won the election. What a judge should do is to affirm the result. That's the end. Nothing like, hey, I hereby declare you winner, I hereby do this. No, they should lose all the powers. Let them conduct election. Electoral officers will transfer the results, punch the figures physically, and the system will perform the collation. That's the end of their job. If the law requires them to keep electoral materials, they will simply assemble them and store them where they are supposed to keep them. That's the end of their job, nothing else. If elections are conducted in this process, there will be few litigations, because what are you going to litigate for? You have seen that it is transparent. The election started and ended at the polling unit. What are you going to contest? Nothing. The results are open, transparent. People are seeing everything live. It is because people are not seeing it, that's why they have the opportunity to change all the figures and insert their own. And it will become magic. You were at the polling unit, you saw the results, and at the collation center, they are announcing something different. Thanks for watching.